Hello, my name is Albany and welcome to my Becoming a Writer series. So I've been gone from posting any videos and I'm really trying to grow my YouTube channel. So this is my first video back. So I kind of just wanted to give a little bit of a background about me as well as about my writing journey so far. So at 11 years old, I decided that I wanted to write a novel. And I came up with the idea, I came up with the characters and like the character arcs, their motivations, their like flaws, like what I wanted them to go through in the book. I plotted everything, I outlined, I'm a big outliner actually. And I started writing, I maybe got up to like 3 pages, but then I just like stopped and I never picked it up. I don't really know if I I don't even know. I don't even think it was like a conscious thing when I was like younger, but as I got older, I definitely didn't write because of that like perfectionism slash like procrastination, where you're procrastinating because you want it to be perfect, and I just felt like whatever I would write wouldn't be perfect at the time that I'm writing it, so I just didn't do it. So yeah, I just pretty much only wrote in school or in my head, which that's not really writing, it's just all in here. But I ended up going away to college, and I fell back into basically English. I got my bachelor's in English, and then I just pretty much kind of just graduated and just really just flopped around with jobs. I mean, I really hit like a 26, like when I turned 26, I hit like this like mid-life crisis kind of thing. I call it the mid-20s crisis that I feel like a lot of people have experienced. Let me know if you've experienced it, but I just was feeling just so stuck at 26. And I just asked myself, like, what does the future me look like? And one of the things was that I really wanted to be an author. I really wanted to write a book. And in fact, I really still want to write the book idea that I came up with at 11 years old, because it was innovative, actually. And, there's some things that I want to change about it, but I think it still would be a beautiful story. And I owe it to her to still write it. So, I decided to go the graduate program route. I know that's kind of a not a touchy subject, but there's like a lot of discord about, there's so much information online. You don't need to go to school to write. Whereas, if you really want to be in more of the academic space, then yes, go to like school, which I do kind of want to teach as well, like be a professor and teach English or literature or something along those lines. So it works out for me, but I also chose it for one, going to school as a structured thing, and I think that was good for me, as well as it gives sense of community, to get real time like feedback on what you're writing, as well as like that feedback helping you grow as a writer, because we're pretty much alone in our rooms. You know what I mean? So so that, and just a lot of the resources that comes along with going to an MFA program. And the one that I am in specifically, our thesis will be a self-published short story collection that we have written. So you stick along with me in my journey, you will be able to see me write that, as well as be able to purchase it if my idea sounds interesting to you. So yeah, I feel like I made the best choice for me. So yeah, in this series though, this specific series, I feel as though I needed to do a little bit more. Like, yes, going to school and taking the classes and learning some of these principles and doing certain things that I wasn't really exposing myself 2 was good, but I still also need to do the additional work. There's so much more that I need to learn, to practice, and I want these videos to push me to do that, to motivate me to do it, as well as, you know, hold me accountable. Because this particular series, no matter any other video that I'm posting on my YouTube channel, this particular video needs to have an episode every week. Putting extra effort to study the craft, as well as carving out time to do the craft. So yeah, so just to get into the actual video now, after the background, pretty much for this series that I'm doing, I will, from my jar here, pick one of these colors. It looks like it's color coordinated. It looks like it's color coordinated, but it's not. They're all mixed in. So really, I could pick any one, and it's not. It's not going to. I'm gonna be surprised, which that's kind of what I want it to be. I want you to see my live reaction and be like, oh, I really don't feel like doing this, but I'm gonna push through. So in the jar, though, some of the different things are to do a writing prompt, study grammar rules, revise something I've already written, watch author interviews, read a book about writing, read Shakespeare sonnets, or even some of the plays. I have this big book that I got for free, and for one, I just want to utilize it, and two, I think for my aspirations of being a teacher, that it will be good for me to study him as well, you know. Whew. But also at Shakespeare, I'm not really a poet, so I think seeing some of those sonnets, like, this is also my poetry element, to expose myself to that type of writing. And then the last one is to listen, but not to watch, a movie I haven't seen before, and take note of the dialogue, and, you know, and what the dialogue and what is building from the dialogue. You know, we can tend to, I mean, movies are meant to be watched, and I love to watch movies, but this focus is just try to better my dialogue. So yeah, leave in the comments any suggestions that you think that I should do. Like, give me a suggestion of a writing prompt, or a book to read about writing, author interviews, you know, a movie that has great dialogue that you think that I should watch. So yeah, leave that in a comment. Okay, let's pick out the thing. All right, so I really don't have to mix it up, so I'm just going to I'm feeling this pink one here. So let's see. All right, so it is the movie dialogue one, which I think this is the one I'm like the most excited to see how like this works and if I like it. So let's get into the video. So I think the hardest part of this challenge here is probably picking a movie. I mean, there's plenty of movies I haven't seen before, but I also want ones that I think that will have good dialogue. But then I guess it might be good to also listen to stuff that may have bad dialogue. But I think I'm gonna do this one. Okay, so you can kind of see the TV. I'm about 14 minutes into the movie. So, and it's actually very hard. Like, within me, like, I want to turn around to see what is going on, like to see what's going on, even though it's like I know I'll be able to tell what's going on by the dialogue, but it's like I want to look to see, because I'm actually like into the movie. Like, I want to, you know, watch this movie basically. Okay, so it starts off with a narrator. I'm assuming that, because it was saying something about you're gonna watch something. So it seems like it's a narrator that it's even saying that they made a movie about this particular story. But I really like the line, we are nothing without stories. We invite you to believe in this one, which I really kind of like that word, we invite you, because it made it more like intimate, that we were brought into this story, and it's like being told to us. So yeah, so that was the start of it. I don't know what that scenery looked like. I guess you could probably do anything, but then we go into where a woman has entered some type of lodging area where she'll be staying, and she finds out that she isn't directly staying with the family that she is there for. So she's just kind of confused, and we learn her name is Miss Wright. We learn that the girl in question that she is helping, his name is Anna. But the part of the dialogue that I kind of got into was Miss Wright went into some sort of a committee meeting of the, I guess, leaders of this village, and he said, and the newspapers are all stalking a mockery thanks to someone's journalistic desires, talking about another man. And then the man was like, it was a medical paper. Oh Lord, my table. And so finally, after all of this bickering, Miss Wright, she interrupts them with a question, because she's based off of like what the words that she says, like she's about her job, like so she's trying to understand the job. She doesn't care about whatever that they're saying. So she asked, may I ask gentlemen, no one has told me precisely what is wrong with the girl. So she's coming in there completely blind. I guess she was just sent on duty. And the most irritated man says nothing at all. And so she's like, well, very well, then I can return to England. And then we're hit with the main character, well, the girl, Anna O'Donnell, doesn't eat. And then just to fast forward, I like the part where it said, someone says the girl has lived miraculously without food since her 11th birthday. And then another man says miraculously is not how she done it. So there's clearly some like disagreement about what's happening, whether this is something clearly maybe of a god, or separate from like a medical reason. So we basically later learn that it's been like 4 months since the girl hasn't eaten, and Miss Wright is, she's leading into her medical stuff, so like that's impossible. So I just kind of like the exchange of like finding out that information. That was a good, just the start of, building this story. Fast forward to get to when Miss Wright is actually right before she sees Anna, another woman is coming out from seeing Anna. And so we do know that basically Miss Wright is there to do some type of study, to do some type of watching of the girl, to, I guess, understand what's going on. So they decided to have a nurse and they decided to have a nun to come up with their conclusion of what they think this is. So I'm not sure if it was the nun that was coming out yet. That's not really made clear. But whoever that woman who was just visiting her, she said that Anna was a jewel, a wonder, which really kind of was interesting, because like, what about, other than that she's just not eating, like, well, what is it about her that people are feeling this way? I guess maybe this miraculous thing of not eating but still living a regular life and feeling good and still being movable is maybe just a positive thing for people. I don't know. But anyway, Miss Wright is still like just confused. She's just like, this, it cannot be possible. But she goes in, but you can see that she's looking at the girl. She's talking to the girl, and she asked her to turn around again, arms wide open. So even though I couldn't see it, I know that the girl probably looks very healthy. And then before she even says that, she says, after that thought, she says, "You seem well, Anna." But during the dialogue between Anna and Miss Wright, what I get a sense of from Anna, well, for one, Miss Wright says, "Are you nervous at all?" And then Anna says, "Why should I be nervous?" And then Miss Wright says, "Strangers such as myself." And then she asks her, "Do you know why I'm here?" And then Anna responds, "To make sure I don't eat." Which I think that is interesting, to make sure I don't eat. But then Miss Wright says, "I'm here to watch, not prevent you from eating." And then she asks her, do you know the dangers of prolonged fasting? And Anna said, "I don't need to eat. I live on manna. I live on manna from heaven." So that was very revealing. I pretty much already was, figuring out that this is a religious standpoint of like how some of the town feels about it, how these people who are coming to visit Anna feel about it, and I guess now also the family of Anna. Open. As you saw, like, it was extremely hard not to want to watch the movie, like actually look at the movie. For one, it was a lot of like, just I guess like scenes where it's just maybe just like music playing, and it's like something most likely is happening, but you can't see it. So I don't know if maybe I need to change up my idea, but at the same time, I noticed, because as you saw, I did look, and then after I looked, I kind of finished the movie looking. Like, I pretty much, like, I want to say like 75% of the movie I didn't look, and then the rest I did look. And I definitely, because it's like I'm watching it, then I'm not writing down as much, whereas like when I really couldn't see anything, like I was really, really focused on the words and the dialogue. So I don't know like what to do, like but anyway, the movie was good. Again, it was on Netflix. It's called The Wonder. The genre is drama, so it's not like a fantasy or and it's actually historical fiction based, actually. And I would say that I actually thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Like, I think by just listening to the dialogue and trying to figure out what was going on and like who the characters were, like solely by the dialogue, it made me more invested into the story. I don't want to say too much about like what happened other than like what I said before. Clearly, it's about a nurse who she's actually from England, and she was contracted to go to Ireland to basically conduct this study of this girl who somehow has been living for 4 months without eating. And also with the study, there's a nun. So basically the nun and the nurse would switch places after, I think, 9-hour periods or something like that. And so pretty much the nurse is truly for one, doesn't believe what's going on, that this is like, and plus, like, the study is done at the home. It's not like at a hospital. It's not being done. So it's like, it's all these other factors, and the village that she's in Ireland is extremely religious. So most of the people feel like it's something to do along with that. And so she, of course, doesn't believe it, but then other people, are telling her that that is the case. And yeah, so she's just seeking out to figure out like what's going on. And I would say that from Miss Wright, the character, when I was just like listening, obviously it was evident that like she's a strong-willed type of person, and she takes care of herself, and she kind of is trying to fight for like what's right. Yeah, I actually did enjoy the movie, and I would recommend it to watch. I would say some of my, like, I don't want to spoil too much of some of the dialogue. What I tried to do is I tried to make sure that like I would get a line and then get that next line from whoever else it was. But I guess kind of a tidbit. So like, this is a point in the story where, because at first she was doing all right, the little girl that's been 4 months, and she's like living her best life. She can twirl, she can have fun. But now during the study and certain changes that have been made during the time like the nurse has been there, she's now sick and she's clearly dying. So the mom said something along the lines of, during a conversation, she has made her choice. And then Miss Wright, the nurse, says, abandoning Anna to die when you could have prevented it is a terrible thing. The mom says, this is for her salvation. And then Miss Wright says, just give her a good night kiss or morning. And then the mom says, this life is so short, Miss Wright. The next is for eternity. My children will be in heaven. So yeah, that was kind of the end of that that conversation that I took. That really, I mean, we figured out some information before that, but like even in that dialogue, you can kind of understand like what's going on. But that was like one dialogue I wanted to share. But yeah, let me know if you think that I should still try to just only listen to it, or if I should just go ahead and watch and just try to take notes. See, my issue is like, if I watch something that I've already watched, then I feel like I'm just not going to pay as much attention, or it's like I already know what's going on, so I'm not trying to like study it in a way, and then or try to figure out what's going on. But if I just listen into something I've never seen before, then it's like, okay, I really want to see what's going on. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just go ahead and just watch it and just take my time and really take notes and pause and listen to it, so I don't have to like just wonder what's going on? But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Remember to leave me any suggestions on like what should I put in my jar for the next time, or things that I should just do within this jar, like the prompts or the author interviews, or books that I should read, or just that. And then what do you think I should do with the movie? Give suggestions for movies. So yeah, let me know what you think of just like ideas that I have. So yeah, bye.